Galaxy A55, A35 5G, RRQ go with the Hayabusa ban. We saw what the Hayabusa was able to do in the first match that we saw earlier on. It wasn't respected 2 times in a row, and it is still sitting at 100% win rate as of today. So RRQ go ahead out and ban it. They understand the potential that it has in the hands of Annabelle. Alongside with that is the Tigreal ban, as well as EVOS going out of their way to eliminate the Edith as well as the Chip.
All right, Edith and the Chip away from RRQ, but for RRQ, banning away the Harriet and the Tigreal, that's interesting. The Hayabusa respect as well. You would think that they would be okay picking it up, but it seems like they want something else, something a bit different. Maybe one of the more mobile assassins. And for EVOS, they might be willing to go for an assassin duel here with Annabelle against Sutsujin, with both the Fanny and the Ling still left open.
What I'm wondering is, Nolan technically had a buff, right?
Yeah, it's an adjustment in the weights. Damage-wise, you will be able to hit the fracture a bit better. But when it comes to mobility, you can get punished easier now, with the second skill cooldown being a lot more, I would say, compared to the old one. Even though it's just a 0.5, that 0.5 second delay does get you sometimes.
Okay, maybe that's why we haven't seen Nolan being a first pick hero.
First pick, I would say we haven't, so it might be a buff as well because it's not as contested any longer. But with the Mathilda first pick for RRQ, that's a bold statement. No real flex play coming in from Coach Keskut here. EVOS against a prospect of agile, mobile players of RRQ, augmented by the Guiding Wind. What is their solution here? Crowd control must be in the picture somehow.
Your team is
And it goes in the form of the Arlet. Right, the Arlet gets picked up here for the White Tigers alongside with the Ling for Annabelle. What do RRQ want to do with this information?
They could go Alpha in the jungle. That would be great with the Mathilda as well.
The game
offers a whole lot of team fighting. Whoa, they go Roger. Not too sure where this is going. Me and Rashi share the same opinion here. When the Roger changes, it's very hard to pull him off in the gold lane. So I presume it's a jungle Roger, and it's a Yves pickup for Rins.
Interesting. Usually we see Coach Keskut be one of the most elusive drafters, and now everything is on the table. Same for the Roger, but in theory, this is a jungle Roger for Sutsujin to try and match that Ling in the clear speed, in the early game aggression to probably take over the game. With the Yves picked as well, in theory it's a counter to the Tsushin if EVOS want to go for it, but I gotta say, playing in that matchup myself, the Tsushin in the lane is just so peskily annoying. The fact that you don't use any mana using the Lantern Flare now unless you hit a hero means you can just leave it out there. So the laning becomes a bit of a problem, but with team coordination, this should be fine. And even in the team fights, the Tsushin might be weaker than ever actually.
And technically RRQ, if anything, if they have anything, it's team coordination, right? Valentina now picked up for EVOS to close out this first phase, so it does even the playing field just a little bit with the Valentina being able to utilize her IMU for the real world manipulation.
Potential for both teams to just hit back with the big chunk of magic damage, but now range-wise, right? Having the Roger potentially in the jungle, the Mathilda and the Yves, we saw a similar pattern coming straight out of Dewa United just earlier today. They're going to be able to actually win in the poke battle, in the setup battle, unless, of course, this Arlet can find ways to engage reliably and unexpectedly against RRQ. So with that in mind, I feel like EVOS will be trying to mitigate some of the bush opening type of heroes, the tanky heroes that can't be banned down, that can't be really bursted down. And for RRQ, I think they're going to try and maybe get away, deny some of the stronger laners, because that is something that EVOS usually like using, but no, it's a Minotaur.
Pretty solid ban, Minotaur. I think this is just pure respect towards Dreams. We know how good Dreams can be when he gets his heroes. The Minotaur and the Tigreal both banned away, and the Valentina pickup definitely does seem like they want to set up for Dreams with those kind of initiators. If it's not the Tigreal Minotaur, usually we see Edith for Dreams. That has been taken away by EVOS. Do they want to go? That's tough though. I'm thinking, again, if we're thinking Dreams, the only thing left in the book is Franco Kaja. You really want to go Franco or Kaja. Kaja makes more sense against the Eve, right? The Franco though, with the Mathilda there, with so many ways to cancel, I'm not too sure.
I mean, there are other options. He's used the Jawhead before, Lolita, Kufra,
Not
Akai.
the best of his abilities, unfortunately.
True.
You know, right now the Ruby is still available as well
Yes.
for both these teams. And with Assassins in the picture, or semi-dive heroes like the Roger in the picture, the Ruby generally becomes such a prio pick for RRQ. They want to limit the defensive maneuvers of EVOS a bit more to allow their players to just dive in the backline.
So let's see the pick here. The ban, rather, the
Kaja.
Kaja. They're full.
Coach Kez, man.
They are shutting
This guy.
down Dreams in full.
This
Minotaur
guy.
Kaja as well as a Tigreal. What will Dreams pick up at this point?
If he goes for the Franco, there's still options for RRQ to just go straight for something like a Grok maybe, and just nullify all of the threat potential technically. Man, if you're in EVOS' shoes, it's so difficult to really find something that kind of fits all the fits into this crazy puzzle. But it's gonna be the Claude. We've seen it do well just earlier, Mirko, but I think you still stay unconvinced.
No, not convinced at all. I think the Claude wins have come through very low games, and I think RRQ will prove that this Claude isn't really that big of a threat here in this meta. But what is going to go gold lane is my question here. I think the Ruby would be a pretty good choice. They can give Ruby over to Skylar perhaps, if they want to. If the Roger does go jungle. I think, again, the Roger should be going jungle, but to go back to the Alter Ego Dewa match, I think the Roger can still win against the Claude. It's just a matter of execution in that lane. And we get to see it in the jungle or gold. It is.
What? Huh?
Coach Kez, what are you cooking?
Oh man, just yesterday I think I was asking you about the Sicilian, Mirko. How with some of the buffs with
the
the
same mid.
mana stacking addition, right?
It's gold. Gold Sicilian.
Oh my. Oh wow.
But there's
Along-
so much dive from EVOS. Right?
thing
You have
about
the
Sicilian-
Ling, you have Claude, and
Yeah, a lot
then
of
you have the
sustain.
Arlet.
You have a lot of sustain on the Sicilian. Something that's very underrated about this pick is the Bat Beast. When you use the ultimate, you do actually have quite a bit to play with. And look at this comp. They have so much peel. With the Khalid too.
Even with the Khalid and even the Guiding Wind, there's so many ways to kind of dash out. And EVOS, they settle back for the Ling-Angela combo. But Cascute, what did you just cook up? The Khalid finally back after a long period of time. Dyron, this is a hero that really suits his playstyle, man. He likes these dive-in aggressive heroes.
It's a very aggressive comp from RRQ. Sicilian versus the Claude in the gold lane, though. What is that matchup going to look like?
That's a win for Sicilian. All Sicilian needs to do is just farm up and poke. By the way, shout-outs to Mr. Kaon in the building, RQ's team owner.
Wow. He actually came through, wanting to support his team here in the Chaos Derby, in the Classical Derby, but it is full of chaos, though.
Yeah, the chaotic classical derby right here. EVOS and RRQ. Counter index and lineup rating favors EVOS, but when Cascute is in the picture, the trickster Cascute might just skew those odds in weird ways.
Heaven and Earth, the battle in the Classical Derby. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 1 between EVOS Glory and Rex Regum Kaon. Can EVOS continue their survival and keep their playoffs hope alive?
Oh, early on. Very, very aggressive rotation into the mid lane to try to punish Dreams, but also Angela Rome. I'm not a big fan of the Angela Rome in this meta.
Especially later on against a team like RRQ. It's gonna be so dangerous. But look at that. Dyron with a concussive blast, actually, winning out in the trades. And I believe Edok went for the Guiding Wind. It was a cheese play by RRQ to send in the Khalid, get in all the damage, and get him out with the Guiding Wind. Emblems here by IndyHome indicate the willingness for EVOS to really go for the brawl. And the fact that Natco is running with the tenacity means that he feels there's going to be threats coming his way. Whereas for RRQ, with all the peel and sustain, Bargain Hunter with the Rupture. This is a farm lane for the Skylar on the Sicilian. And later on, with the Mathilda, it's going to be so difficult for them to kind of power through the slows from the Eve, right? To try and chase through the Guiding Wind and still get to that Sicilian that still has the increased movement speed. And of course, the Sanguine Claws. So many ways for RRQ to play the kiting poking game.
Oh, that was nearly a forced recall onto Natco, by the way. The damage from the bad impact from Skylar has actually optimally bursted Claude down in that gold lane. It's going to be very interesting to see how this pans out after level 4.
I want to say something too. I don't know if you guys remember, but I can't believe I forgot this in the draft. Khalid, Dyron. He's the best Khalid in Indonesia, man. Remember his days in Rebellion when he used to spam this pick. And then after that, he kind of left, was in limbo. We didn't see him in MPL, and Luke took that mantle, best Khalid. But we were also saying in the back rooms that, nah, Dyron's got it, bro.
Wow, what season was that?
10.
Season 10, 4 seasons ago. Wait a second.
Annabelle trying to go for the steal. Does it? Well played, Annabelle. So showing that he's got the skills to pay the bills on this link.
Aggressive moves coming from EVOS with more burst damage potential. With the Angela to secure the mind of Annabelle, they can go for that steal, go for the neutral objective right there. But as the game progresses, right, as the Sicilian gets stacks, as there are more poke options, oh, Clockun
Gonna be caught in the Raging Sandstorm, and even the real world ablation earlier. Clockun though popped it in. Now Dyron might be compromised, but he is still able to escape. A flicker baited out of Clockun.
All right, and back to that gold lane, right? It looks like Skylar actually is forced on the recall by Natco. And that's why I was curious about that level 4, right? Sure, Skylar's able to pick up the Bat Feast, but Natco gets a Blazing Duet.
Wow.
Is this a unanimous vote?
Yeah, this is a unanimous vote. For
That's
RRQ.
rare.
We haven't seen this in so long. We're friends now. We're friends now, yes. We're friends now.
Finally.
After being rivals in the... What match was that?
BTR RRQ?
Ah, yes. BTR versus RRQ, which we lost, by the way. We now have a unanimous vote on the Indo as well as on the English desk. But, you know, it's always possible for the White Tigers to prove us wrong. It looks like they are holding on to a little bit of a lead.
Oh, Raging Sandstorm coming down, connecting on a 2. That's the final slash to get him out of Tempest Blaze. Now Dyron able to actually go and heal back up. Sutsujin still on Psychos. RWM, wrong angle. Sutsujin's going to be punished down. Annabelle surviving Clockun with first blood. EVOS strike first.
This is a good start for EVOS.
They're using the sustain from the Angela really, really well right here. Kind of dictating the tempo, but look at this.
Clockun opening up the bush, but will get chunked. Skylar, Sanguine Claws, bad impact, one last shot! No flicker, Skylar on the Sicilian! A rotation from gold lane.
This is where EVOS needs to be careful, man. They do have the advantage early game with that Angela playmaking with the hard guard. But you have to remember, once those resources are down, they don't really win out in the back and forth, you know, the disengage and re-engage style. That's all RRQ. Now, waiting for the setups. Look at Rin's just zoning as Dyron still stays in the front and tries to take away the attention.
Annabelle with a red tree battle against Sutsujin. This time, it's Annabelle again. Picks up all the blaze and escapes.
Wow. 2 times in a row, he's been able to win out the Retribution against Sutsujin. Annabelle really keeping EVOS in this game as well. And despite the advantage that they've had, it looks like RRQ have actually augmented themselves their own gold lead. How?
Just by farming. So far, RRQ, again, with the movements around the map, with the sum of the kills and the quick farming that the rest of the players are all doing here, you're seeing that even with 2 turtles, EVOS are actually still at a gold deficit. So this is great news for EVOS. They're keeping the game competitive, but they have to remember that late game Sicilian. Most people don't remember it any longer, but back when it was meta, it was an absolute menace, man. 2 bad impacts and you're done. That's the amount of burst that is possible from the Sicilian.
And that's why being placed into the gold lane, how fast can you get those stacks and how fast can you get those items, right? Because that's going to be a monster. Let's see if EVOS can actually punish Skylar to prevent that from happening, because so far, Skylar's still sitting at a 1-0-0.
And he actually has the Clock of Destiny already completed. For the most part, as long as there's backup available from his team, they're seeing that he's playing it very clearly, very passively, right? Clear the waves, move backwards, and if there's a Blazing Impact, a Blazing Duet play from Natco there, he can just match it with the Bat Feast. But as mentioned by Mirko earlier, someone's in the building.
Someone's in the building. Shout out to Mr. Kaon here, supporting his own team. That's the Kaon and Rex Regum Kaon, if you guys don't know. Skylar, what is that damage with Edok together? Now Rins with a pinch maneuver. Natco zone completely away from this tier 1, and that sets up perfectly for the turtle. Raging Sandstorm by Diamond to escape, healing back up.
Annabelle is a level ahead, by the way. Psychos.
Oh, one more bad impact coming down. Psychot's very low. The poke is ridiculous.
You're seeing a bit of a... Oh, hang on a minute. Dreams.
Oh, opening up that side of the bush now. Guess they mobilize down. Annabelle will be zoned away by the circling eagle, but still has the hard guard coming down. A level ahead this time against Sutsujin. That's a retreat this time. Sutsujin wins it out. Annabelle might be caught. Has the pinch poised to escape, but RRQ Hoshi, they were already in the lead with 2 turtles down. Now they get their own turtle. Natko, good trade down below.
Wait, was Sutsujin and Annabelle at the same level earlier on, or was Annabelle at the level lead?
Annabelle level lead.
Wow,
Okay.
Annabelle level lead, and still, with all the pressure that you can see coming from RRQ, you're seeing that the fights, ever so slightly, momentum-wise, is shifting towards RRQ. With the turret taken on the bottom side, though, you're seeing EVOS kind of corral around to try and find something. But looking at the items here, glowing wand for both mid laners, with the warrior boots for wins. But look at Tyrant.
That impacted half with the Sanguine Claws, and now Dreams might be next. Another, the Flask of the Oasis. Dreams almost just got poked to death. Annabelle with a jump over the Rins, now with the Tempest Blaze as well. Psychos with the Vengeance, but the real word of inflation catches Annabelle. Immobilized now, glowing wand. Tyrant gets the kill in the back as Sutsujin deals with Natko.
Executor Dyron on his signature hero Khalid.
Oh!
And look at that damage again on Clockman. Is Dyron gonna go in for the kill again?
It's a bit too greedy, I don't think so, but he's just going to spam the Inibanchana emote. You guys can get that, by the way, a really cool emote.
And just like that, EVOS, without any tools available, now you're seeing the holes here exploited by RRQ. At any moment, they can start off an engage with a Sanguine Claws, with the Void Crystals, and just get a healthy amount of damage on any kind of squishy member in the front line. The fact that there is no big tanky member for EVOS means that no one is safe at this point. Even Psychon isn't tanky enough. As we take a look at EVOS Yuppie from the MPL IDX streamer program here.
Yeah, she's not having it.
He looks super concerned, man.
She's not having it. Okay, she notices. Hi, Yuppie!
She
Yeah.
still looks...
Yeah.
The eyes don't lie, my friend. The eyes don't lie.
You can see the look of concern right there. And who can blame her? It's not looking the best. 3k Goldie for RRQ, and they have all the late game options and a good mix of frontline, of tankiness, of damage as well. Look at Psychos trying to open up the map, but even when he does, Clocken is slowly but surely getting bursted down. Without the Angela around to really give some more regeneration, Dyron.
Ooh. By the way, this is a full tank Khalid. Thunderbelt Rush, and now building towards the Dominance Ice. There is no damage in his build.
At this point, he needs to serve as one of the main frontliners because the Mathilda certainly cannot. Look at Edok taking a bit of damage. Immediately traded though, when it comes to the wave clear, when people are moving around, clearing to try and go for a fight, RRQ with 2 mages can definitely do better.
Wow.
And look at that. At any moment, you do see though, right, that Skylar, despite the great bad piece,
Sutsujin.
bad impacts and Sanguine Claws, some of these spells are missing. You can tell that he isn't really comfortable on this position, but Annabelle, no purple buff for what is potentially the next Lord setup.
Yeah. That'll do it right there. They're already 3,000 gold ahead, and there's Holy Crystal,
no.
10 minutes for Skylar. That is his 3rd item, and you can see that damage piling onto Psychots, who can't take it. Forced to flicker out early. Skylar is also stacking, by the way. So, with Holy Crystal 10 minutes, oh man.
I don't know. I guess EVOS, they need to work with angles at this point, right? They can't go in for a full engage front to back because of Skylar, right? Even before EVOS start to go for their setup, they're already bursted down. The kiting is insane by Skylar. I know it's difficult, right? Because even if they look for an angle onto Skylar, you know Edok is somewhere in the vicinity to back Skylar up, but it's gotta be angles at this point. They're playing with angles.
And even if they deal with Skylar, there's going to be a lot of damage down from RRQ, but it doesn't mean that there's no mage. But oh, Diamond!
Yeah, the catch down, but there's no follow-up. Natko still has a Purify. Claw couldn't take a half HP. Natko not going to be ganked by Tyrant. Real Revelation as well. He got the Purify. Gets a play on the Tyrant as the Temple of the Blades will be used up by Annabelle, who tries to pick up all the blades, but without the purple. But what can you do? Skylar gets a bad impact straight into the face of Annabelle. And they know where Natko is. In the bush. The bad impact not connecting. One last shot should do it. Now Sutsujin walks over, but Skylar picks up the killing spree. Dreams all alone, the little girl taken out by Edok on the Mathilda.
You don't run away from Sicilian, and you don't run away from Skylar's Sicilian. The king himself, he proves that he can utilize even mages in the gold lane and find this much success. And that's going to be a free lord over to RRQ.
That was a crazy fight by RRQ, man. It almost went ideally for EVOS. They're able to dive onto the backline. Annabelle was using the Tempest of Blades to try and take out Skylar in close proximity in order to prevent the damage coming in from the bad impacts. That's a divine glaive already
Yikes.
on top of the Holy Crystal. An insane amount of damage. We saw that Skylar wasn't able to land bad impacts, but the damage was enough. And the flicker out of danger.
Oh.
Death. Whoa!
The bad impact, the low claw is burning down with the glowing rod. Sutsujin pulled back, but the guy who wins right there. Again, now into the back. Annabelle trying to save the game. Gets some damage, gets Edok, but he has to pay with it, with his life. Now it's Tyrant zoning them in the back. Again, Skylar is free to just shoot them down. That's half of Psychos' HP. That's half of Clarkun's. Skylar with the claws. Skylar with a bad impact. Psychos low. Skylar wants to go for the kills. Psychos jumps in with a vengeance. Now the Sanguine Claw's not connecting. RRQ can go for the base with another mini wave in the bottom lane. Natko cannot walk forward. Now one last shot from Sutsujin. But the Tigers, wounded, limping, are still able to survive.
Yeah, RRQ, they're too low at this point, right? Oh no!
Blazing to wet from Natko! Getting the shutdown now on the Diamond, who is still able to sustain back up. It is only a 3-kill bounty that Natko picked up, but finally, he gets a kill on Skylar.
RRQ stayed a little too long there, Arashi.
They were just feeling comfortable, man. Just standing there, taking pot shots with 2 high ground mages at EVOS. Who would have thought? Would you believe if we told you a couple of seasons ago that EVOS on an assassin will be having trouble against 2 backline high ground mages that in theory should not be able to deal with the close range proximity?
Speaking of that, game fact by GoPay, Khalid is one of Dairon's power heroes since his debut in Rebellion with 8 picks and a 75% win rate. Something that Mirko mentioned earlier on with the Dairon pick. I wonder if that 75% win rate can actually increase. It's looking good for RRQ.
It's looking great so far. Speaking of Dairon himself, he goes for the Thunderbelt, the Dominance Ice to just lower the healing, lower the shred from Natko, but also with the Oracle to ensure that when he goes and heals, he's going to get a lot more value and buy a lot more time. Now Skylar with the Winter Crown, there's a chance that in one of these fights, if he gets jumped on, he goes for the Winter Crown, while popping the Bad Feast, and he's still going to be outputting all that damage. And if you look at Edok, he's actually going for more magic power, actually. Not going for any tanky options to really help with the frontline defense. It's actually just going straight for it. And even for Sutsujin, we talked about this, Mirko. The fact that the Thunderbolt now only adds damage from your extra magical defense and physical defense. In theory, it shouldn't really work that well for heroes like the Roger. But Sutsujin is still going for that build. And look at this setup right here, man. Look at the control.
They're just playing around the stack. Oh, final slash, not connecting. Dairon now. Annabelle gets caught in the middle of the wall. Dairon, finding 3! Zoning everyone from EVOS. There's no follow-up there, but Dairon was able to bait out so much. Even the hard gun from Natko as he goes over the blazing weapon. Win a crown from Rins, gets him to safety. Natko. BMI backwards again. Sutsujin controlling the Lord. Psychots low. Flickering out, but now the chase comes in. 3-man final slash into the sun. Edok going to be taken now, and that is 1-for-1 Lord for Edok.
This is dangerous, man. RRQ, they got the Lord. They're still playing confident, but you are seeing some of these movements from the side of RRQ, and you know it's not necessary. They're just doing a lot of aggressive moves to send the message, and they lost 1 so far, but it's still a 5v5 with the Lord pushing into the base of EVOS.
Let's see if they can defend. Natko getting hit by the bat impact earlier. Now to dive from Annabelle onto Rins, who he knows doesn't have the winner crown. Rins should be down. That is Annabelle getting the kill. Now onto Dairon he goes. Won't be able to survive though from the bat impact that is constantly gunning them down to win a crown. As Sutsujin takes Natko down. That is the bat impact walking with the flicker. But Dairon with the execution. RRQ Hoshi strike first. EVOS Glory falling down in the first game, 1-0.
That's a wiped out. That's the body of 5 dead Tigers on the floor.